Hi, my name is Galani Anagnostopoulou and this is my Wwise demo reel completed for the School of Video Game Audio. This video shows the processes and techniques done for the Cube game with Audiokinetic's Wwise. I chose a map from Cube and created an asset list to keep track of the sounds that were needed to be implemented in Wwise. My map contains the following materials: concrete, grass, and gravel. To show movement, clothes rustling and bag jingling were added. The player footsteps were done in a heel-to-toe sequence and random containers to have a variety of different footsteps. An additional switch container was added called Underwater, where the switch was assigned to a state group named Underwater, and when underwater value is true, it plays a swimming sound. A low-pass filter has been applied to these random containers to impersonate an underwater atmosphere. A blend container was created for the player's health, varying between two breathing sound effects. When the player's health is above 45, it plays a calm breathing sound. As the player's health decreases, the breathing sound effects gets heavier. An RTPC value was added to both the heartbeat and breathing. As the player loses health, the heartbeat is heard more prominently, and a low-pass filter makes it sound drowsy as the player is close to death. Each monster has its own actor mixer, which contains their death and pain sounds in random containers. Most of these sound effects were recorded with the help of my friend and a lot of animal sound effects. Ball is a big and scary monster, which is represented like the devil. I wanted him to sound very enormous and overpowering. I used a sample of a tiger roaring and used a pitch shifter to lower the pitch, EQ to boost the lower frequencies, and a reverb with a slow attack to make him sound big. Goblins are small and mischievous. With the help of our little friends at the local parrot zoo, I thought this would be the best opportunity to capture bird sound effects, as parrots and cockatoos are often funny and mischievous. To make them sound demon-like, I lowered their pitch with a pitch shifter and added a tremolo to give a distorted and unnatural sound. Hell pigs are pigs but in demonic form. With the help of my friend, I wanted him to make a snarl sound when the player hits it. Therefore, I used a pitch shifter to lower the pitch and a delay designer to represent a snarl coming from the snout of the pig who is nasally. For the death sound, I made it over dramatic to let us not forget that it's a form of a pig. I lowered the pitch in Wwise using a pitch randomizer, so it is not always the same. The night is somewhat magical, so I wanted him to perceive to have a fantasy undead feel. For his pain sound effects, I used an evil laugh I found from freesound.org and chopped it up in Logic. I'd added an aggressive reverb, a pitch shifter to lower the pitch, and a metallic fade delay to make him sound evil so that his voice is travelling through his armour. For the Death Knight event, I used 3 layers. I created 2 random containers, each with a variety of death and glass sounds, all of which were processed with effects, and a separate magic sound. The glass sound effect had a reverb, pitch shifter, and a delay to make it sound scattered as if the knight has been shattered to pieces. The magic sound was added to represent him disappearing. I wanted the knight's gasp to feel as if he is going through your head. Therefore, I used a Wwise room verb effect representing a claustrophobic feel. For the ogre, I wanted him to sound aggressive. Therefore, when he is attacked by the player, I wanted him to sound angry. I used a dog growl for this, adding a vocal transformer in Logic and lowering the pitch where the sound is more distorted, making him sound angry. For the death sound, I used my friend again and added an aggressive reverb to make his voice sound deeper. The rhino is a mechanical creature and pretty much a robot. When the rhino is hit, instead of it having an expressive voice effect, I made it sound as if the player is hitting metal. This was made up of 2 layers, one which is a pan hitting and a cat meowing. The pan hitting has a microphaser, tremolo and reverb added to it to make it sound like metal is being hit. The cat meow adds a little expression to the robot where it has been processed the same way as the pan, but instead of a microphaser, a vocal transformer has been added to make it sound like a robot. When the rhino dies, I wanted it to sound like it was shutting down, so I did this by adding 4 layers. The cat meow, a foil expanding, a razor and a beat. This time, the cat meow needed to sound bigger and bulkier, therefore distortion and a rumbling delay was added. With a foil processed through distortion, a pitch shifter and a metallic fade delay, it sounded like the robot was coming apart. The slith is a slimy and slithery creature. I wanted him to sound disgusting, so with the help of my friend gargling and a spray hiss sound, I could create the sound effects to what I wanted. Each monster has its own set of footsteps. These are put into small, medium and large footsteps. These were separated into 2 sequence containers, a hard and soft surface. The hard surface container has Bowl's footsteps, which sound low-pitched and are reverberant, whereas the soft surface has a mushy, muddy effect to define its gravity and weight of the monster. Similarly, the rhino has mech footsteps. An attenuation was added to each of the monster's footsteps so it can define its distance from the player. The shotgun of the player is constructed of 5 different layers. There is low, medium, high, mech, and body. There are a variety of pumps in random containers where they were recorded with these tools. The shotgun shells were done in the same way in random containers. Altogether, it sounds like this. Each of the event action properties, pump in, pump out, and shotgun shells have an initial delay added to them so it sounds realistic. The player rocket was layered similarly to the shotgun. It has a low frequency layer of a boom kick, a body layer of a whoosh, a tail which trails off at the end with air pressure, and a fire crackling to give an explosive feeling. These were all placed in each of their own random containers, giving it 9 possible combinations of the rocket launcher. With the items, I used a mixture of native instrument plugins such as Absinthe and Alchemy, including a few of my own recorded sound effects. For the item health, I used an upbeat Absinthe preset and a sigh to bring that upbeat sigh of relief to the player. For the armor, I wanted to get a swift pickup sound effect, and by doing this, I added a whoosh sound effect with a metallic feel. Because the item is heavy, I added a low frequency wind. To make the sound more realistic, I added reverberation to each area according to its size. For the corridor, I added a reverb which had a long tail to make it sound like it's reverberating down a long hallway. For the area with water, I wanted to make it sound echoey as it is quite a large room. I have added a hidden trigger for this environment to include some water droplets. This adds a bit more ambience. I have added an attenuation to the water droplets so when the player is near to the trigger, the sound is more prominent. For this room, it's a square room with a high ceiling, so it needed to have a ping-pong atmosphere. For the small room, which is close to outside, I did not feel it needed reverb, as the sound would escape instead of reflect. I hope you enjoyed my show reel. Thank you for watching.